Something I truly appreciate is when my cat is crying at my door because I locked her outside. Because she's eating my stuff, like my equipment. It's all on the bed. So I just need a few minutes to record this episode and then I'll let her in. She gets so anxious when I'm far away from her. Anyway, I was talking about something that I truly appreciate about fans of this podcast is that they consistently let me know they are watching, they are listening, they consistently give me feedback. And when they miss my voice on here, they bombard me with messages about why I need to get my shit together. And I was just explaining to someone how when I'm happy, I tend to be a bit more quiet. I tend to just like to fall back and enjoy and bask in my happiness. And most times when I'm happy, I don't have much to say. But when I'm sad and heartbroken or grieving and stuff, that's when I usually have so much to say. And I think that's why sometimes I go on these hiatus just to like enjoy my happiness. And then when something bothers me, I come back here on to rant and express myself and all the things I'm feeling. So I'm going to name this episode Becoming and Unbecoming. Halfway through 29, because I turned 29 this year and I've truly been enjoying the year so far. I'm halfway through 29 and I just want to talk a little bit about what I've been up to, just an update on my life to kind of maybe help someone who's my age out there, or someone who's scared of getting to my age, or someone who's anticipating getting to my age, just to tell them a bit about what 29 is looking like for me. I've been recording on this podcast for about 5 years now, since I was maybe 24 years old. And by then I had already achieved a lot career-wise and also through my healing journey. I think it's important that I keep sharing my stories, not just so I have an archive when I'm older and I want to listen to what I was doing at what age, but also so that, like I said, people who are anticipating getting here, people who are wondering what 29 looks like, or people who are scared about it can maybe get a picture from my perspective. Especially people who like my content. You know, I mentioned that I started this podcast 5 years ago because if you go and listen then, I was really, really scared. I mean, I was achieving stuff, but I was so unsure about a lot of things. I was consistently anxious, very, very broke. Okay, not that broke, but like, it's different. 29 feels a bit different. And that's what I want to talk about, all the things I've been able to achieve. Okay, so I wrote this script last week because I was supposed to record this episode last week. A lot of things have changed in this last 1 week, but I'm still going to go through it and see if these things that I wrote still fit. So last week when I wrote this script, it was a random cold day. It's been very cold in Nairobi this July 2025. And my cat was chilling at the balcony and I had just made some tea for myself. I wanted to have a hot mug of tea and then take a nap, and then later I would wake up and go shopping. So the reason I mention what I'm about to do is because there was a time this kind of life or this lifestyle was just an idea for me. 3 years ago when I used to come on here and complain about my fucked up job that I really, really used to hate, that was draining all my energy and my creativity. I used to manifest this life where I can wake up, cook whatever I want, sleep how much I want, work if I feel like, go out shopping if I want to, get in my car, drive, go shopping. And I can confidently say that I've managed to manifest this life. This is the life that I'm living right now. I'm living in my dream life. And like I said, I love recording and speaking a lot more when my feelings are hurt. And something that prompted me to want to record and talk about how I'm feeling currently, read as last week, but currently, is that I wanted to buy some makeup. Okay, the truth is I've never bought makeup for myself. The first time I have actually. The first time I got into makeup and I was trying to learn about how to use makeup, this was maybe when I was 20 or 21 years old. It's like 9 years ago, 8 years ago. I'd go to town and there was easy my shops too, because nauzanga makeup. Kunaitwa Dubois. I went to Dubois and I bought those makeups. Na hizo vitu zilikuwa zinaniwasha uso. Nilikuwa napaka, but I really used to struggle. They would make my face break out and it was so bad. So I never really knew how to buy my own makeup. Plus those days, hakukuwa na vitu kama shade matching and sijui what. You'd just buy whatever you thought you liked or whatever you thought made sense after watching a bunch of YouTube tutorials. So anyway, fast forward to 8-9 years later, I can afford. Oh, the next time I got makeup, now nice makeup, a friend of mine was in the US and he purchased for me a full face of makeup. Like, he bought me everything. The next time after that, I just tweeted randomly. I wrote, "Oh my goodness, I wish I could afford mascara. It's so expensive." Someone, again, from Maju, sent me a package full of makeup. So really, I don't have good history with buying my own makeup. And this year, I can finally afford to buy my own makeup. So I went online after a friend recommended some place and I messaged them and I told them, hey, I want to purchase. And their customer service was so horrible. It was so horrible. And I think this triggered a lot of things that I was feeling. A week before this, I had just, I was going through, my PMS, PMDD stuff, and I started breaking up with people, crashing friendships, crashing relationships, because during this time is when I start to overthink about how much I exert myself in people's lives and if I feel like my relationships are reciprocated, if I'm loved enough. But this time, I'm also usually going through a lot of self-doubt, a lot of self-hate, a lot of self-harm ideation. I cause a lot of drama within my friendships. I think the people around me right now are used to it and kind of know how to deal with me. But when I'm not isolating, I have to come out and show myself to the people who love me so that they can know how to deal with me in that space. Anyway, I was very emotional at this time. I wasn't the drama, but I was very emotional at this time. I had been going through kind of, nilikuwa nimekosana na someone I really, really, truly care about. And a lot of things were happening. I think I was a bit anxious. I don't know about a lot of stuff. My life is good and amazing and happy, but I was just going through a lot emotionally. And I start feeling like nobody cares about me. Nobody understands what I feel. Nobody cares about me. The last time I went to get my nails done, I was talking to my nail lady about friendships and about, just the different dynamics amongst friends. That's actually the episode I'm going to record next after this. And I was telling her about how, through different phases of relationships, right now I'm at a space in my life where I truly am enjoying my solitude. I'm not locking myself out of romantic relationships, but I truly, truly do enjoy my life as is. I'm having so much fun. I'm truly enjoying. I mean, I do want to be in love with someone who is in love with me and, to enjoy a nice romantic relationship. But I also feel like I'm very, very content with the kind of life I've created for myself right now. And, I'm in a phase where a lot of my friends are getting hitched, they're getting married, they're having kids very intentionally. And since I'm not fully on board on that chain, I feel very, very isolated. Even when I hang out with my friends, most of them are either married or they're in very serious relationships. And I'm usually the one who's single or the one who's there alone. I'm not complaining. Get me right. I'm not complaining about the situation. It's a bit much more noticeable. And you see, the thing with this is that it means our lives are changing. It means we can't hang out as much or we can't show up for each other as much. And as the single friend, I find myself almost always having free time, enough time to attend people's birthday parties, people's spousal stuff, people's weddings, people's shows, I'm always checking, I'm always contributing, I'm always showing up. But as the single friend who is not having these milestones, nobody's really checking up on me. Nobody's checking, am I fine? Am I happy? Everyone just assumes my life is perfect and it's amazing. And it is true. My life is perfect for me. But it would be really, really nice if the people around me were much more conscious of the fact that I also require companionship on a very personal level. And listen, I'm not complaining. I'm not fighting at you. You're giving your kids more attention than me. No, I understand the dynamics of friendships are changing now, but it's just I'm the one who's still expending myself while nobody's taking time to think about me. And my friend was like, the lady who does my nails was like, what? Oh my goodness, you're making so much sense. And I feel so bad because I'm your friend as well. And just because I have kids doesn't mean I shouldn't check up on you. And by the way, from that day, she's been checking up on me consistently, not just because I need to go get my nails done, but she's been very intentional about making sure she's also checking in on me, checking in on my mental health, finding out if I'm fine. And I truly, truly appreciate this. Well, of course, the friends, there's friends who are family, who are really, 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 really like in the very inner circle. So they consistently know everything. But I'm talking about maybe the second tier of friendship, people who you really love and you love to be around, but maybe you're not around all the time. And sometimes, life is busy. There's those friendships where you guys can go so long without seeing each other, but the relationship is still there, So those are the kind of friendships I was talking about. I'm trying to figure out if they really are friendships, because I think true friendship weathers all sorts of seasons, right? Like whether you're having a baby or I'm getting married or I'm traveling abroad or through whatever season, or I'm grieving, we're supposed to be able to uphold the friendship with intentionality, right? So that's what I've been thinking. And right now, my friend is my mom. I do have really close friends who I truly love, but I realize that anytime I have so much to say, I'm consistently calling my mom to just offload on her and tell her a lot. Well, I'm still happy and grateful about my life. So far I've been able to achieve all my goals for the year. And funny thing is, this always happens by August. Every December, I write down a set of goals that I have for myself. And I'm starting to realize that even without much intentionality or paying much attention to these goals, I always achieve them by August. Because when I go back to my list and start to tick them off, I usually have achieved about 98 or 100% of everything. So I get to enjoy the last quarter of the year. I get to rest and replenish and enjoy the fruits of my hard work. And this is such a nice feeling. I mean, I'm enjoying the kind of life I've been able to create for myself. With a lot of new, beautiful beginnings also comes a lot of endings. Sometimes not always beautiful, but still worth mentioning. I've gone through a lot of endings, a lot of cutoffs, a lot of loss. And I just feel like I'm in a chapter where I'm truly able to embrace. I've been telling a friend of mine about how being 29 has been the best thing that ever happened in my life. I don't know why they sell us this thing about, when you're approaching 30, it's supposed to be doom and grim. I feel like at 29, I'm much more confident than I have ever been. I'm much more beautiful. I'm sexier. I have much more money. I'm much more stable. I have confidence, so much conviction. I have so much peace. Everyone I love is happy and healthy. I'm able to express and explore my feelings. The only thing that's not happening is in my sex life. That's the only stagnant thing in my life. Otherwise, everything is really moving positively and amazing. And the reason I'm not having sex is truly, I do want to have sex. I want a very active sex life. Trust me, I probably even am trying to get laid. But the person I want to have sex with, I don't want to say doesn't want to have sex with me because I'd be lying, but it's just complicated. Sex at this age requires a lot of intention and deliberation, and because I know what kind of sex can make me feel the way I want to feel, if I'm not having exactly that, I can't really settle for anything less. So it's a little bit harder to, have boring or casual or, sex that doesn't mean anything. I mean, I have tried, but it just doesn't satisfy me the way I want it to satisfy me. There's a time I had sex, the last time I had sex with a friend of mine. Well, I don't know if we're friends, but we have a sexual history and we used to have a friendship going on. And we had missed each other. But I feel like ilikuwa tu sex ya manja. It was really rushed, but there was no emotion. Basically, I can say I felt nothing. I felt nothing. I wasn't attached to the feeling. It actually feels like I didn't have sex. Oh my goodness. I'm so mean, right? I'm just being honest. It has nothing to do with the other person. It has a lot to do with the fact that right now I'm much more grown, much more, I know what I want. So it makes it hard for me to settle for anything that does not fit this description. So yeah, I mean, I'm ready for new stuff. I've been telling you guys about how I've been looking at houses. I'm really, really ready to move to my next apartment. I want somewhere fresh, somewhere that's just new and has a lot of change. And this has been making me a bit scared to decorate my house because I keep feeling like I want to leave. But at the same time, I'm telling myself it's okay to enjoy while I'm still here. So I put up my art and I've started creating my gallery wall. I've been making the house a bit more homely for as long as I'm here, at least until the time I find the house of the apartment of my dreams that I truly, truly love. Well, apartments in Nairobi are pretty expensive, and it's a really rigorous process to get the kind of house you want unless you're moving out of town. The houses out of town are really, really nice and very affordable, but the distance, I don't know if I'm trying to achieve something impossible. I'm trying to find a house that's central to all my businesses, which is basically in the middle of the city, but still affordable and still very, very beautiful. I don't know if that's achievable because all the houses around, anywhere around central Nairobi are pretty much expensive and sometimes not even as beautiful as you'd need them to be. So yeah, and even now to go a little bit back into my friendships, I've been making new friends as well. And I've truly been enjoying the experience of getting to meet new people and to love new people. It's so beautiful to throw myself out there. And in the spirit of all this, I've been trying to get feedback from my relationships just so I can know how I've been doing and what kind of person I've been. Sometimes you think you're progressing and you're doing so much better, but maybe I'm timing on the same spot. I'm not learning. A friend of mine called me out and said, something they've really, really noticed about me is that I try so hard to create a safe space without realizing that this wall that I'm building to keep me safe is also consistently keeping me away from the beauty on the other side, which is true. My mind wasn't really blown, but I felt like, my goodness, how can someone read me to a T like that? I mean, I am an open book, but being read like that is a bit, I don't know. So I asked another friend of mine, what do you think I can change or improve in the way I am a friend to you? And she told me that I do this thing where I act like I don't need help, where I'm very independent, but it's coming off as hyper independence because I don't ask for help. I struggle a lot alone. I do not express myself in the time that I need to. And then I keep it all in, and then one day I just blow up. And this is true. This is something I've been noticing that I've been doing. I like that I'm in relationships where people can be very honest with me and tell me what they feel about how I am, because it helps me open my eyes to the blind spots that maybe I wouldn't necessarily see if I was isolating and sitting by myself without trying to improve on said things. And I think this is what is keeping me from romantic relationships, because I keep thinking I'm ready, I'm very emotionally available, and then I realize that I love to push people away, and I'm truly, truly scared of being needed in that way, in a very serious way. Or, being held accountable, especially emotionally. It's hard work, but it's necessary work. But also, it's very scary work to let people see raw parts of me like that. It's something that I am trying to work on, but I'm also realizing that it's messing up a lot of my relationships, because at the end of the day, when I'm going through my PMSing stuff, I start to blame people for not showing up for me when I was the one who was not opening up and asking or seeking help intentionally. I know this stems from my childhood, where stuff would be done for me and I would consistently be reminded, I paid your school fees, I fed you, so I try to make sure that I'm self-sufficient, and just that I don't need anybody, so that no one can rub it in my face that they did anything for me. So even me going to people and asking for anything, even me coming to my friends and saying, hey, I need help, that's such a big, big deal for me. But I've purposed to work on myself so that I don't bleed on the people that love me, so that they don't feel like I don't need them or I don't want them in my life. Because there's people who do this to me as well. So I know exactly what it feels like, and I know how hurtful it can be. But I'm working on myself. And I've realized that the more I've been focused on improving my life and loving myself, the more magnetic I've become. I've truly been enjoying and attracting amazing opportunities, more beauty in my life. Everything in my life is really, really, truly beautiful. I was scared to record this episode because I was saying to someone how I know the episode will feel like I'm bragging, because everything in my life is super, super perfect and I've already achieved everything. But if you're an avid listener here, you'll realize this happens to me every year. Every year I talk about how I plan my goals and how I research on them and how I achieve them. So this is just me sharing. Even if it comes out as bragging, I hope you can see it from a positive light and understand that everyone can achieve what I'm achieving. I'm just a normal girl, and I'm consistently trying to show myself that I can be good to myself and love myself better. So that's why I share these stories, so that we can all grow and heal together. Also, I've also been learning about myself that even as I'm healing and growing and doing better and, becoming better, the parts of me that were angry, hurt, scared, impatient, anxious, depressed, they still exist within me. It doesn't mean that now I'm perfect or I'm absolved of everything that I've ever done or felt or thought. It just means that I'm still the Roberta that's very, very imperfect, but at the same time, I'm still this Roberta who's working on being even better than I was. So you need to remember to stop being too hard on yourself throughout your growth. It's not easy to remember all the time, but this is why you need to be working on a healthy support system that, reminds you. The same way I'm able to go to my friends and ask, how can I be a better friend to you? How can I fix our friendship? Blah, blah, blah. That's how you should be able to do with yourself. Check in with yourself, introspect, ask yourself questions, build a community that holds you accountable and is able to tell you the truth about exactly how you are. This is actually a question I love to ask the people around me. How can I be better to you? How can I do better? And they always tell me the truth. Sometimes the truth is painful to take in and accept, but it's also usually always, absolutely always necessary. It helps. But you see, the people who are meeting me now or recently have not witnessed the raw and unkempt versions of me. They've just met this perfect girl who achieved all her goals. And I feel like this sets a very, very crazy, standard in people's minds. So anytime I'm not perfect, I can see people's disappointed. Like, for instance, I'll give a practical example. I was speaking to a friend of mine who he's a professor, and he keeps saying he's a professor, but he keeps saying how he consistently admires my ability to communicate my emotions. So already in his head, he has this perception that I'm this amazing communicator, until we started talking, now texting on a very personal level. And I think he was getting frustrated because, first of all, I don't know. I get distracted easily. I get distracted easily, especially if the conversation is not, fast paced, bam, 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 bam. I mean, we were trying to have a conversation, but I was building these walls that, my friends are talking about. And he kept wondering why I'm not letting him in on a friendly level. I kept being very vague and short with my answers, or, I was just like, he was telling me that he was noticing I'm two different people on a professional level, I'm a very amazing communicator, but when it comes to personal relationships, I truly struggle. And I told him, okay, yeah, it's true. And that because of that, you have to stop seeing me as Roberta, the communicator, and just treat me as Roberta, your friend, who is complex, who is a human being with lots of emotions. I feel stuff on a personal level. It's very different from when I'm on a stage somewhere telling you about what I think. It's very different from when I'm here texting you about how I truly, truly feel about something. So get to know me on a personal level and don't judge me from, what you see of me professionally. I think a lot of people have a hard time reconciling that these two people are all me, but I'm different. It's important that you get to know me. So I find people expect me to be perfect a lot. So they get shocked when I even, speak my mind, speak my emotions, or when I call stuff out, or even when I stand up for myself. Because most times I'm always just chill. I don't speak a lot. This is especially in my personal life. I don't complain that much. I don't know. I'm always just chill. So anytime I'm not chill, everyone goes crazy. It's like most times I have to convince other people that I actually have feelings, and the things that they do to me or, a lack thereof will affect me or impact me in some ways. But then again, maybe it's not other people I need to convince. Maybe it's myself that I have to believe that I'm a human being. And I have to start showing up as a human being, which comes back to what my friends are calling me out on. I need to understand that I'm a human. I cry, I feel things, and I don't have to go through life alone. So this is why I've purposed to, unlearn and learn how to just be a human being with emotion so that people can take me that way. I've also been realizing that even though I've been making friends and actually I've been going outside the house a bit more, I get so overwhelmed being outside and around people that I don't know. I've been pushing myself, but sometimes it gets so exhausting and I have to take so long to recover from all the social interactions that I go through. And then I start remembering how people really are, how people sometimes, you can be hanging out in a circle and, there's people who are jealous, there's people who are vindictive. Hanging around alone by myself really, really protects me from a lot of stuff. But then it's not the way to live life. I don't want to be 80 listening to my podcast talking about how all I did was stay in the house the whole year. I want to be someone who, lives life and has fun and goes out there. So I've been working on that. I mean, I have been leaving the house, but I've also been taking a lot of time to rest and recover after. Growth is also making me want to shut up more. And this is the reason I don't have podcasts coming out all the time. I mean, on YouTube, yes, on Heartfelt with Bobby, on on the Dialogues with Jagero show, and also on TV. But right here on Love and Orgasms, because this is a bit more of a personal platform for me, I've just been realizing that with growth comes a certain type of privacy that I'm trying to protect. And it's not that I don't want to share parts of me with you anymore. It's just I have the awareness that it's important to do stuff around energy that is safe and energy of love so that I can maximize on the potential of everything I touch. And it has been working so far. So now I'm ready to share and talk a bit more about, what I've been doing and what I've been up to. But when I've been going through it, I've just been feeling like, nah, I don't have much to say. I'm also starting to see a lot of things clearly. I'm able to see people for who they are. So choosing the people to be around is a bit easier for me now. I have much more clarity and stability. I'm more forgiving of myself, more forgiving of all my mistakes. I feel like I have more at stake, and at the same time, I have more responsibilities. So now I truly owe it to myself to make sure that I'm absolutely showing up for myself in the ways that I always need to. Well, I'm enjoying life, and while it feels too real, it also feels too beautiful most of the time. To be honest, 29 has been amazing. It is amazing, not has been, it is amazing. I'm enjoying my life so much. I'm enjoying my relationship with my friends, my parents, the people I love, my colleagues, my career, my finances, my cat. My cat's name is Honey. I'm truly, truly enjoying everything that I have. I can't take anything for granted. I'm consistently filled with gratitude. Even just waking up in the morning feels amazing. Going to bed, I'm always so excited going to bed in the evening. What can I say? I just really, really love life. Well, like I said, the only part that's lacking is my sexual life. I'm not really having sex. This is not intentional. I mean, I'm not staying away from sex intentionally. I just don't want to have sex that doesn't mean anything to me and isn't fulfilling me in the ways that I need it to. Happiness is very imperfect. Sometimes it looks like sadness. Sometimes it looks like loss. Sometimes it looks like smiling. Sometimes it looks like working out, eating right. Sometimes it looks like laying in bed all day, staying in bed all week. You know, happiness looks like a lot of things and it is very imperfect. What I'd urge you to do today is try and notice the things that you are happy about and the ways that you love yourself. And there's some advice I got from a new friend. His name is Bobby Gadia. Bobby is a just Google him if you want to see who he is. I don't want to expose a lot about him here. But he told me that every day you wake up in the morning, find something to be grateful for. Less complaining, more gratitude. And I follow this advice in August. And by the third week, this is when I had realized I had achieved all the goals that I had for the year. Everything that I touched turned into gold. Everything I was dreaming about actually came true for me. And this is real first witness account. I don't lie on here. I lie sometimes to niggas, but I don't lie on here. So follow Bobby's advice with me and see what changes with you. And then come back and tell me in the comments how being grateful and loving your life has transformed everything that you've done for yourself. 29 has come with much more realization, much more acceptance, much more contentment. I am truly, truly happy with my life. I love everything about my life and I'm truly basking in the best. I know the best is yet to come, but right now this has been the best year for me. So tell me what you've been grateful for. Tell me what you're going to be grateful for, and then come back and tell me what you've achieved through gratitude. This is what 29 has looked like for me, is looking like for me, filled with so much love and peace and beauty. I just wish it had much more sex. Till next time, goodbye.